art, media is a form of self-expression, of communication, and there is a theory which has a great truth that art lives for art's sake alone. It means that the artist should have no other agenda, no other responsibility, no other motive except to express art and perhaps to express beauty. But we need to understand this phrase, art for art's sake, in greater depth. This too, like the word spirituality, is a phrase which has been greatly misunderstood and misapplied. Again, I will not go into the depth of this question. I will only mention two things. That historically, all the great art which has been created all over the world has been linked to religion and spirituality. And this is true even more of India. One of the greatest creations of painting are in Ajanta, and they were done by the Buddhist monks in the caves. The great, magnificent sculptures of India, even those which are considered to be most secular and sensuous, where are they found? On the temples. On the Shiva temple at Tanjore, on the Surya temple at Konark, on the Meenakshi temple at Madurai. And all Indian literature, dance, music, theatre has drawn its inspiration through the centuries from the Ramayana, from the Mahabharata. And that has not made the art less, that has not made the beauty less. In fact, they stand today as the great contribution of India to world art and to world heritage. Therefore, is there a truth here which we need to discover? Is there a truth that is hidden somewhere which needs to be brought out again and expressed? Again, questions and more questions for the symposium. We now come to a completely different aspect. After all, we are in the modern times and we cannot avoid it. Not only we should not avoid it, it is an important question, the commercial and financial aspect. The question we have to ask ourselves is whether money is necessarily linked to violence, vulgarity, and debasement of taste, or whether values, beauty, and money can all be happily reconciled. What should be our primary driving force and motive? If it is going to be money, money, and money at all costs, there is nothing more to be said. We know what the results are. It is not something in the future. The results are there with us to see. But we believe, and this is our challenge for all of us who are gathered here, that to follow a higher ideal is not contrary to commercial soundness, that it is a good policy, even from the financial point of view. A greater beauty, a greater depth, a higher idealism will not make profits and success less. They will rather enhance them. This is the challenge which we have accepted, and that is why we have come here today. I always like one old Tata ad which captures this spirit so well. We also make steel. A steel company saying that our primary purpose is to bring care, happiness, satisfaction to the people. But along with it, in the process, we also happen to make steel. Is it a chimera? Is it an illusion? Or is it a truth that we need to live by in the future? I'm sorry I'm taking a little longer, but I think there are a few points which need to be placed so that we can have the basis for our discussions. I'm reminded of a very well-known Afro-American film producer, director, actor, William Greaves. He has made a large number of films. Over 50 of them have won international awards. He has won an Emmy. He has been nominated for several Emmys. And he had made a film on the music of Africa. A great festival which was held at Senegal. And he had made a film on that which became very well known. And when he had come to Pondicherry, he told me, you know, Vijay, when you see that film on the art of the music of Africa, if you don't remember the book of Sri Aurobindo, the national value of art, I will say my film has been a failure. The entire inspiration for that film I have drawn from a small booklet of Sri Aurobindo called The National Value of Art. And I think because we are on this topic, our session will not be complete without my reading to you a few lines, a few sentences from that book of Sri Aurobindo. Sri Aurobindo writes in The National Value of Art, it is not necessary that every man should be an artist, but it is necessary that every man should have his artistic common things of use that surround a man's daily life, should be habituated to produce, and the nation habituated to expect, the beautiful in preference to the ugly, the noble in preference to the vulgar, the fine in preference to the crude, the harmonious in preference to the gaudy. A nation surrounded daily by the beautiful, noble, fine, and harmonious becomes that which it is habituated to contemplate and realizes the fullness of the expanding spirit in itself. How far are we today from these words? How far of this are we able to really see around us daily in every aspect of our life? And this is exactly the reason why we have to put in redoubled enthusiastic efforts in this direction. This then is our idealism. This then is the future which beckons us in all the four fields. But what shall be our approach? With what motive and attitude shall we do our work? For this, I think I would like to share with you a small story which I heard from Manoj Da, who is sitting here, who will be speaking to us later in the second session. And the story is connected with Konark in Orissa. The Sun Temple was built by the great king Krishna Dev, and he had the practice of, like many kings in the past, of disguising himself and going around the kingdom to find out exactly, truly what was happening in the kingdom. So once when in disguise he went towards the temple where the work was on, he saw 4 persons breaking the black granite stone. And he asked the first person, sweating away in the sun, hot there, "What are you doing?" And the person replied, "Are you blind? Can't you see what I am doing? I am breaking stone." He asked the second person, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I am earning my livelihood." He asked the third person, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I am following the orders of the king." And he asked the last person, "What are you doing?" And there he was in the hot sun, standing there on that hot stone, and he says, his face full aglow with a light and a smile, "You know what a privilege I have been given? I have been given an opportunity and a chance to do my little work in the building of this great temple to the sun god which is coming here." All four of them were doing exactly the same thing. They were all breaking stone in the hot sun. But what was happening inside, that is what made all the difference. And perhaps this gives us a little hint towards what it means of applying spirituality to life. So let us try to bring a new dimension to journalism, advertising, cinema, and photography. Let it be interesting and exciting and joyous and youthful, but let it also be high and wide and deep. Let it bring beauty and love. Let it help in molding our children to higher ideals and traditions. Let us, each one of us, individually and collectively, take up the media in all its forms, no doubt for entertainment. Entertainment also is a valid pursuit of life. So let it be for entertainment, but true entertainment. Let it be for information. Let it be for education. Let it be for earning one's livelihood. But let it also be for bringing profits and value to the stakeholders. But even more, let it be for bringing value to our lives, for building a new India and a new world, for striving towards excellence and beauty as an offering to the divine. And today, let us not merely discuss, but let us get together and work together to bring about this change. And each one of us, whatever be our background, whatever be our field, we can contribute to it in our own manner, in our own way. And the Sri Aurobindo Institute of Mass Communication invites everyone to join hands in this task and this unique adventure. Thank you.